I've never known my love outside of the context of the pandemic. I was introduced to him over Snapchat. Impatiently skipping the small talk, the first thing I ever asked him was, "What's your favorite thing in life?" To which he responded, "Coffee shops and travel." I realized COVID had taken both of these things from him. See, our first date was over Zoom. I sat in my parents' basement. I had been kicked out of my dorm because of COVID, and he sat in his dad's living room. He was kicked out of his frat house in New York for the same reason. And we talked for hours, getting to know each other over the food he had delivered to my house. I was surprised when I first heard his voice. It was different from the voice I had pictured in my mind when I was reading his text, but it quickly became my favorite voice in the world. Eventually, we braved the outside world enough to meet in a parking lot and eat ice cream in our separate cars with the windows rolled down so we could talk. Inching closer, step by step, we started spending afternoons strolling through town together, talking about anything and everything, looking through the windows into all the shops and restaurants we wished we could go in. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. And with his mask covering everything but his eyes, I fell for that soul long before we ever even got within 6 feet of each other. We must have been on 5 or 6 dates before he got up the nerve to ask if we had to social distance from each other. We were on a hike and had somehow lost the trail, now alone in the middle of the woods, away from the eyes of others who might judge us for standing too close. We dared to hold hands, feeling the excitement of the warmth of our fingers interlaced for the first time, weeks into our relationship. We wandered around hand in hand, not wanting to let go, even when our hands had become sweaty and gross. We had fantasized about this moment for far too long, and neither of us wanted it to end. Unsure of which way to turn to find the trail, we paused. He stepped closer to me. Slowly, he pulled down my mask. Time stood still. We had sent each other dozens of kiss emojis, but the real thing was different. There was no denying the danger in taking off our masks and locking lips, but my God, was it worth it? As the pandemic continued, he stayed by my side, the one person I could always trust and always see no matter the restrictions. It became us against the world. Time and time again, I saw him make choices to protect others over himself. Whether it was saying no to social plans I knew he desperately wanted to go to, or picking up trash along the hiking trail. There were so many times in which he helped nameless strangers without even pausing to think twice about it. Now, I don't know how social he is when he can do as he pleases, how he and my friends would get along outside the confines of Zoom, or where he would take me on dates if we could go anywhere and do anything. I don't know what it's like to sit next to him on an airplane or what the view from inside his favorite coffee shop looks like, even though those are his two favorite things in the world. But what I do know is that when I can only see one person, I want it to be him. That if I have to spend hours indoors bored out of my mind, he makes the perfect quarantine partner. I know that we can talk, and I know that we can be silent, and that both are okay. I know that I can trust him to do the right thing always, that he will sacrifice his happiness for the well-being of strangers that he will never meet. I know that the last year has been a crazy, wild ride, but that he made it incredible. I know that as the world goes back to normal, things will only get better from here because of the foundation that we've built together. I know that I love him and he loves me, and that love has the power to get us through anything.